Heads up, everybody. Greetings. Welcome. You guys are eating lunch after this panel. Is that correct? Wonderful. And what are we having today?
Brady's hibachi and sushi.
Wonderful. My name is Clint Stivers. Today, we are with you. We have different leaders of the different centers and services for you and or your students. And we would like to each introduce ourselves, talk a little bit our services. We'll speak for 5 minutes or so, and then hopefully we have about 15 minutes at the end for you all to ask any questions you might have. Cool. So I'm Clint Stivers. I am the director. Sorry. I just want to. I'm the director of the Knoll Studio for Academic Creativity. We are EKU's Writing and Communication Center. We have three primary programs that we offer our students and faculty. Number one is our consultation program. So we have about 50 undergraduate and 9 graduate students who serve as consultants in the studio. Students have the ability to schedule online or I don't like holding this. Students have the ability to schedule online or face-to-face consultations, but consultations are an hour long. What we do is we help EKU students across the disciplines, undergraduate and graduate students, with any writing, communication, or research-related projects they're working on. We help with all phases of the composing process. So it doesn't matter if it is a nursing student working on a blog, a STEM student is working on a lab report, a graduate student's working on a lit review, an honor student's working on a capstone project. We can help with any phase of the composing process on that project. So brainstorming, outlining, structure, organization, thesis statements, polishing, and revision. We did some assessment this past semester and discovered that, and you might discover that many of our students struggle to understand what the prompts are that you're asking for. So any of you who have writing or communication related prompts that you're setting up for your projects that you're setting up for your students, we encourage you to send them to the studio to help them get going with their brainstorming, pre-writing, or just help with understanding what your expectations are for the assignment. Our consultations are an hour long. What we do is we identify the 3 big picture issues in the student's work and provide feedback. Every student gets something called a record of consultation, where we kind of record, kind of transcribe what occurs in the consultation. And if you want to take a look at that or require students to submit that to you, you're welcome to do so. If you're going to ask your students to make a mandatory consultation, please just get in touch with me so I have an idea of when your students are going to be coming in and how many there might be. That is our first program, our consultation program. We have a workshop program, and so we provide 6 different workshops, brainstorming, two different brainstorming workshops, infographic, research poster, oral presentation, and thesis statements. And so this is designed for faculty. You can request the workshop and come into we're actually located, partially on this floor over here, but you can request the workshop, bring your class into our discovery classroom, and one of our graduate students will, do our, let's say, infographic workshop. All of our workshops are kind of studio-based pedagogy where we speak for about 15 minutes, provide instruction for about 15 minutes, give your class an activity, and then the last 15 minutes, we kind of debrief, talk about what they learned, what they did, and the way that it connects to whatever the assignment is that you're working on. We do about 150 workshops a year. We see about 6,000 to 7,000 students every year for consultations. My time has come to an end, but I would like to say that this morning, if you all have taken a look at your EKU today, I put out a syllabus blurb that you can put into your syllabus about the Knoll Studio. I provided information about our workshop program, and I provided information for your students to help them better understand, what to expect in a consultation. That's it. So now I'd like to turn it over to Elise.
Hi, everyone. I'm Elise Lyer. I'm the interim director of the Center for STEM Excellence. I have a background in math, statistics, and math education. And also in the center is a coordinator, Rachel Maggard, who has a background in biology and anatomical science instruction. The STEM Center is located in the Science Building atrium. So if you go into the Science Building on the second floor, you walk in, you are in the STEM Center at that point. We welcome EKU students and partnerships with STEM faculty who might be teaching STEM courses, be involved in STEM programs, or in courses that are STEM adjacent, where you use quantitative tools that are used to explore challenges in those courses that might not be traditionally associated with STEM. One way we partner with students in learning is through peer-to-peer one-on-one tutoring. This is done through our learning assistants in the STEM Center. So students are able to come to the center at any time, drop in and ask questions as they want to, as we're open. And then also we offer other tools for them as they work. So we have other resources such as study materials, biological models, whiteboards, and calculator loan programs. However, the STEM Center is much more than a place to come for tutoring. It's a collection of student-facing learning partnerships that take place between instructors and our learning assistants. In the STEM Center, our learning assistants are really the most valuable resource that we can offer to you as instructors. They are partners who have the ability to connect with students in ways that we would not otherwise be able to. They are near peers for students and can help to model what it means to really learn and work hard at it, and also show that if I did this, you can do this too. They help to foster a mindset that learning is going to involve making mistakes. It's just part of that process. Our learning assistants also are involved in pedagogical training and professional development in the STEM Center. And when they work with instructors, they become part of the instructional team. So they will work with you and meet with you, and they will be involved in that classroom experience. So they might be seen in those classroom learning spaces, whether it's a lab or a class session. Sometimes we also have out-of-class activities that our learning assistants engage in. Over the past 5 years, the STEM Center has really grown. We've had the pleasure of working with over 75,000 students through our learning assistants and through our partners. And we really celebrate the fact that we're able to reach so many students in their educational journey. We have noted that students have reported increased understanding and confidence as they engage in these activities. And also these students tend to have higher grades and also better retention rates after they participate in our initiatives. However, we do want to qualify that. There are many factors that contribute to student success, and you all are a very big part of that as well. I'm happy to meet with you today because I want to offer you an opportunity. As you go into this new semester, please begin to think about learning partnerships that you might want to have in your own classroom, and know that we're here if you do want to incorporate learning assistance into any of your courses. It's great to meet you, and I hope to learn more about you and get to know more about what you all do as time goes on.
Hey, I'm Sarah, and I'm here for Data Initiatives. So Data Initiatives is kind of like a small group within the Knowledge Studio. We are hosted in breakout room 3 within the Knowledge Studio, and we are specific for research projects, right? So we do not work with the classrooms or classroom assignments. We are focusing specifically on research projects. There was a need at some point that, is hard, like sometimes do analysis and cleaning data and collecting data and all of the things that students have to do. There's specific needs there. So we focus on the research process. So very similar to the Knowledge Studio, we also have like different programs. So we have consultations. Our student consultants meet with other students and, mentor them through the research process. So this can be, how can we create a good survey? How can we design a good project? How we clean data? We promise you spend like 80% of our time cleaning data. Visualizing data, analyzing data, reporting data, right? When things get into the writing piece, we refer back to the Knowledge Studio, what Clint was talking about, but we focus more on the numbers piece. So the consultations are for students, but also for faculty, anyone who needs them. And we also have workshops very similar to the studio where we have, best ways to visualize your data or different types of workshops. We also have tools that we provide workshops for. So R is one common one we use, but we've also done Excel, Jamovi, JASP. If you're not familiar with those are open source. So we are very big into, we don't use anything that requires any payment of any kind. We are open source. We also run a lot of open science workshops and framework, and I'm an ambassador for the Open Science Framework, and we really encourage best practices for research more globally, right? Someone emailed me yesterday about the distinction between the Statistics Consulting Center you may have heard of, which is hosted with the Statistics Department. So I think the main difference is we are student-driven, right? So at Data Initiatives is the Knowledge Studio model in which student consultants are the ones providing the analysis, the visualization of the data or the input on the research process, versus in the Statistical Consulting Center is faculty members from the Stats Department who provide that guidance. So that I think if you prefer to work with a faculty mentor, with faculty, we will refer you to them. If you're comfortable working with student consultants, you can work with us. And the consultations are for students, but then beyond the consultations, we have workshops and projects for faculties or administrators or staff. We've worked a lot with the library and other teams, but for the project, which some of you may be interested, if you have some data that you want analyzed, you can come to us, meet with us for an initial 30 minutes meeting, tell us what you want. These are the 3 hypotheses or the 3 research questions I want. We analyze the data. We need 3 to 4 weeks. So we usually do this semester. In every semester, we do 4 or 5 of these bigger projects. In January, you can request projects for the spring. And in August, you can request projects for the fall. And it's usually you come, before fall break, you meet with us, then you give us 3 or 4 weeks, we report your data, and then after fall break, we give you your results back. Or we've done results, or we have also done, sometimes we do creating a survey for someone or other kind of important steps within the research process.
All right, Sarah, I just wanted to note, several questions came up yesterday about statistical platforms. So R was one of them, and Qualtrics. So I wanted to help.
Qualtrics, yeah.
Qualtrics.
We are the people for, if you have Qualtrics or our questions, we are your people.
So, right, so that's perfect, because that's what I was gonna say. If you have questions, Sarah will know everything, so.
Well,
There they are. She can give you a faculty perspective, but with Sarah and the Data Initiatives team, we brought kind of R to campus, and Sarah led the effort to support that statistical platform. So I wanted to help make that connection very briefly.
And we've also done it for classes and for departments. So imagine your department is like, we have 3 classes in the series. Right now, all 3 of them are using Excel. We did this, some of these, we didn't completely finish, but in bio and in some other places, they are trying to do some of these transitions. It's like, we have 3 classes, all of them have Excel or some other SPSS. We don't have license, there is no money for SPSS, so better not do SPSS. Jasper, Jamovi are both good transitions. If you're an SPSS knowledge person, you can do Jasper, Jamovi. They look very similar, and they have the background in those is R, so you can then transition to R easily. But we've done this for departments where it's like, okay, these are the things that we are doing in Excel. Give us the R code. We create the R codes, the student assignments. We can all do all of these. That usually comes from a chair, department chair kind of request at that point. But if you want it for a class, it's like, I have 3 assignments in this class that they are in whatever program, and I wanted them in R or in Jamovi or we can create the slides for you, or we can create the video, whatever you want. We do all of the things. We're pretty flexible in that way. So yeah, Qualtrics, R, and any other statistical software, not qualitative. We have not obtained licensures for qualitative. Those are expensive. Again, we only do open stuff. So we do, with R, we've done some qualitative, but it becomes quantitative. Like we've done some analysis like word frequencies and word correlations. So you kind of get that analyzing text through R, but it's not your thematic analysis kind of thing. So if you do a thematic analysis kind of, I can refer you to the people on campus who do those, who can maybe orient you, but we don't do that. Sorry, you got too long there. You just.
No, you're fine. Hi, I am Ashley Matthews Sweat, and I'm the director of the Student Success Center here at EKU. And we are located currently, and I say currently because this semester is the last semester, we will be on the first floor of the library. Starting in the spring, we are moving to the second floor. So better visibility, better Wi-Fi, which is the most important.
Not that much better.
So plans here crushing hopes and dreams. It's okay. But we are mainly known for tutoring. We tutor across subjects in over 250 courses each semester. Our tutors, we do peer-to-peer tutoring. We call our tutors gurus. And so they are high achieving students who have taken the classes, taken the professors. So not only do they know the content, but we say they have insider information about how a professor teaches. And so that's very helpful to students. We offer mentoring services. You can request mentoring, or a lot of the students who we serve are, I'm trying to think of the nice way to word it, on academic, they're having academic challenges, yes, at risk. And so they are required to sign a student success agreement and required to come to mentoring. And so we work with them throughout the semester, help them build goals, all kinds of different things, just depending on what the student needs. Because we have found that a lot of times, if it's something that they're struggling with academically, there's something behind that that's making them struggle. So we try to get to the root of the issue. We also offer workshops. We have a Sjogren Success Series workshops. They are academic or career-based, everything from working with career services to do resume building, to working with time management, how to prepare for finals and how to bounce back from midterms, all kinds of different things. So if you all are interested in having one of us come to your class, that can be arranged. It's just an email to the Success Center and we can work on getting in your classroom. We also, I had to write this down, we just started equipment checkouts. And so we've got, they do have to be used in the center. We'll work on maybe a little bit further out, but we're still working on the trust thing. And so we do equipment checkouts for calculators. We have a Rocket Book, noise canceling headphones, and Pomodoro timers. And so that is something new that we started last year. We also have a puzzle table that we created. And so we know that students sometimes need brain breaks. And so they come in, check in, work on the puzzle, and then they can head out. We, always say, like, if you don't want to be bothered, don't make eye contact. And it seems to work. But if they want to be bothered, they can still come in. We have study space, we have printers, all different kinds of things. If they have questions about services on campus and don't know where to go, you can send them to us and we can help them figure out what service they need. We have at times walked students to the counseling center or the Center for Student Accessibility to help sure that they get all of the accommodations that they need. We are also nationally certified. So we are College Reading and Learning Association certified in tutoring. We are level 2 advanced and we are level 2 certified in mentoring. So I'm really proud of that. And also proud that this is our 10th year. So we are celebrating our 10th anniversary. We will be having an open house reception the first Thursday of the semester. So please check your EKU today, and we hope to see you there. You can find out more about us and our center. We're also highlighting former student workers because without them, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. And I think that's all I've got. Thank you all.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Jose Juan Gomez Becerra. I'm an associate professor of Spanish and the director of El Centro. First, congratulations. Welcome to EKU. You chose a great institution, as you can see from all the services that we have for our students and here the FICTO for faculty. El Centro is one of those services, right? We service students from all colleges. We're located in the basement or first floor of the library, which basement, right? Room 103A. It's a provost-funded initiative to support academic engagement, right? We work through a framework by Yoso's cultural capital. I don't know if you're familiar with Yoso, but it's cultural capital wealth, community cultural wealth. Yeah, community cultural wealth. And it's based on capital, right? Understanding culture as a capital that students bring with them to campus, right? We service Eastern Kentucky, right? Where, it's in and of itself a specific cultural experience in the United States. So at EKU, at El Centro, we try to recognize students not as, someone that we're servicing, but rather as partners, right? We try to recognize what they're already bringing with them from their lived experiences, what they're bringing from their hometowns, and so on. We empower, we create an environment to empower these students, right, to serve as mentors. We service around 4,000 students per year. We've been in the library for 3 years, and since then, including summers, because we're open the summers, we've seen over 18,000 students. We have different initiatives, right? We have a Puente Summer Bridge program that's happening in a week. We're bringing 105 students, moving them in early. These are incoming freshmen. We're moving them early. We give them workshops through the day. Our whole goal is to narrow the gap, the academic achievement gap, right? One of the struggles across the United States, it's academic engagement, right? Showing up to classes, doing their work, trying to stay away from AI. So we're in a way in the trenches, right, of academic engagement in that sense. The space many times is misunderstood as just a study space because it's always packed, right? But we have different initiatives throughout the year. We have a Ready to Succeed series happening this year, where there's a workshop every Friday. So if you're familiar now, we moved to a block schedule where classes are Monday through Thursday. So our goal with this Ready to Succeed series is to provide an incentive for students to be on campus on Fridays, right? So that's the idea. I mean, we respond to the Provost's vision for academic engagement for our students, and it's our contribution to campus. Aside from this Ready to Succeed series, we're also doing a Faculty Fridays. So we're looking for faculty that would like to share their research, what they're working on, maybe just their interest in general, right, to interact with students. So we're gonna do that, alternating with graduate students because, we also, that's something that in a way we have to work harder at EKU is also supporting our graduate students. So if you're interested in getting involved with El Centro, there's plenty of opportunities. Some faculty have held their office hours there, right? We try to have coffee. So we try to make academic engagement fun, right? We use this blended approach where most of our events are academic, but also have a social aspect. For example, we have like an emails and esquite. So it's an emails and a corn roast, right? So we're going to talk about, how to prepare emails, how to communicate with your faculty, just use professional tones on emails, but then after follow with the corn roast. And we found that doing that blended approach, students attend better and participate, and the outcome is, or the final outcome, hopefully, is that they do better in their classes. So welcome to EKU. We're in the basement of the library, or the first floor. I know. The first floor, room 103A, and I hope to see you there. Yeah.
Hello, my name is Perry Winslow, and I am a professor in the psychology department, but I'm also the director of initiatives for the Faculty Center for Teaching and Learning, where you are sitting right now. So I get the benefit of this is where we are, you're in the space. This room is part of it. My office is right there in the little glass box. I want to introduce Chris Butcher, who is the coordinator. Stand up, Chris. Coordinator for the FCT&L. So he does all of the dirty work, and I guess I'm in charge of sort of the bigger ideas and some programming. And so you've heard from Rusty already of what the FCT&L does. We are the space where faculty come to try to improve their teaching. And so we run teaching and learning innovation series, sessions that are usually an hour or so during the day about different topics. We run professional learning communities, which are semester-long engagements about either a book or a topic in some way that are usually faculty-led. The FCT&L is really a place for faculty and instructors, right? This is not a student-facing space. This is a instructor-facing space, and so this is for you. And so we hope that you will come. We also run, I think I heard Rusty talking about, we do individual consultations. So if you want to have me or someone else from the FCT&L come and observe your class or talk about a teaching related issue with you, we can do individual consultations, no problem. We have a procedure for class observations that works really well. I really love doing those. I get to see faculty from all across campus. I saw a bunch from construction management last year. That was really interesting because that's way outside of my area. So those are really, really beneficial. You know, we have lots of programming, and so we invite you to come and we'll watch for announcements on EKU Today and go to our website and find out what resources we have available. But when you have questions, when you want to solve a problem in teaching, we hope that you will think of us and come and engage with us in some way, either come to our sessions or contact us directly. There's a place to submit requests on our website for a variety of different services. So we want teaching to be as good as it can get, right, at EKU. This is what we're here for. This is what EKU is about mostly. And so EKU has put a lot of resources into the center and in trying to help all of us become the best we can be in the classroom for our students. All right, that's short and sweet.
Thank you. My name is Lisa Blue, and I am the Director of Artificial Intelligence Strategies here at EKU. And we're really fortunate to have such a role here on campus because not everybody has an AI czar and not everybody has an AI policy. And so I'm really pleased with the progress we've made as an institution to support our faculty, staff, and students in this area. My office, the Office of AI Strategies, Innovation, and Success, is here to help you navigate all things AI. Everything from what's our preferred AI solution on this campus to how do I get started with it? Can I use it to do this? Or I have this specific application in mind. What's the best option for that? We do have Microsoft Copilot Chat and Gemini, Google Gemini, plus all of its little intricacies like notebook, and it's got some image generation capabilities. And so if you have any general questions about AI, feel free to shoot me an email. We do have a session after lunch where I will go into more detail about what else I do, including helping you with syllabi policies, assignment redesign. We also have programming every month. We do a monthly Spark Talk, which is on Zoom. And if you want to be a part of that, I do advertise that on EKU Today, or you can email me and get on my mailing list. I do have participation from institutions across the world with those. And so if you want to interact with a lot of different people and see their perspectives on AI, I would totally encourage you to sign up for that. I'm also changing the way we do programming this year because people don't have time for workshops. So I've been told. And so I'm moving to short form videos and one sheets. And I've recently updated to a very minimalist website. And I'm working with IT to make a more robust website to house all of those resources, which will include lots of faculty development, but also access to students' AI literacy modules. Eventually, you'll be able to find those in Canvas and copy those over to your course. So if you want to do some AI work in your course, but you're not sure if students have the basic AI literacy they need to get started and be effective, there's going to be a module for that. All right, with that, I think we should open it up to questions. We did such a good job, right?
Pre-lunch period. This is a problem.
So I guess this kind of meets for a couple of different ones of you, but in terms of having tutors, what is your requirements for a student to become a tutor in this peer-to-peer modeling?
So for the STEM Center, since we cover such a diverse range of courses, we have our tutors tell us which courses they're comfortable tutoring in. And of course, we look to see what their past grades are and make sure that they were successful in their studies before. But that's generally the model we go through. And then when we partner with faculty, if this is a learning assistant that you might have in a classroom, we really take input into who you would like to work with if you have a student in mind for that.
Same.
Yeah, we're looking at their GPA. And sometimes I feel conflicted by looking at their GPA, but we need to have a benchmark, right? Because GPA will not determine students' ability to perform, right? But we look at their GPA, their background in the classes that they're gonna tutor. And yeah, we just try to provide, the best students to also the way I approach is more than tutoring, it's like academic coaching, right? While we can provide support, we have the Student Success Center that does specific like tutoring, right? Our approach is in the sense of like helping students develop strategies to be successful in class, right? Sometimes it might be specific to an assignment, other times it might just be, their coursework in a major. Yeah.
For the studio, GPA, students are required to submit a resume, cover letter, a writing sample. They must have a recommendation letter from a professor or faculty member. We have an hour-long interview, and they also have to provide feedback on a sample essay. And so I take a look at that and determine, like, look, is this person, like, are they able to recognize higher order concerns in students' work? Are they just focusing on editing, editing aspects? So it's a pretty comprehensive process.
I will say, we do not, I sound loud.
It's for the online, I think.
Oh, sorry about that. Yes, we do not hire students who are freshly here. We want to make sure that they have been here for at least a semester because we also expect them to know campus resources. And in our interview process, we do ask what campus resources they've used, what did they find effective? And so they mention a lot of the campus partners here, but that's one of the things that we like to learn so that we can also help better serve students.
My question is, what about students who may be looking for accommodations, whether that's for some anxiety disorder or ADHD? Is that a component with one of your programs?
They would do that with this Center for Student Accessibility,
Okay.
and that's located in the Whitlock building.
Okay, so
I
different.
think there's a session.
Tomorrow,
Yeah.
4 to 4:45, we'll be meeting with Kelly Kogers, the director of the Student Center for Accessibility. So we will have dedicated time with her to ensure that you have the resources.
Yeah. And although I do want to say that all of our centers are prepared to take students, right? If they're looking for certain resources, that's something that I think we all agree on. That our students should be prepared to connect students to their resources. Yeah.
It sounded like a lot of the workshops were geared more toward in-person services with online classes. Is that something that translates for those students as well? And how do you access that?
We usually get one-on-one requests for those. And so we will actually schedule where someone is talking with your class so that they can ask questions right then when they've got them. So that's the way we do it.
At El Centro, and I think overall, Eric, we got to improve. We have to improve our tutoring for online students. But we also do just one-on-one Zoom meetings, yeah, or sessions, yeah.
In the studio, we, like I said, we have 6 requestable workshops. 5 of those, one GA can run one. And so if you are online and you request one, you indicate that on the form that you fill out. And so, like, let's say it's a 6 o'clock class, 6 p.m. to 8 or whatever. What you'll be required to send your Zoom link, and the graduate consultant will beam in and provide the workshop. Our brainstorming workshops are best. It's designed to help students kind of figure out narrow down what their topic is and identify, what it is they're gonna be writing on when they're working on a research paper. And so when we do that online, it's a little trickier, but we set up just breakout rooms with like groups of 5. It requires like participation from, if it's a class of 25, 5 students to a breakout room are commenting on each other's topics throughout a 30-minute period. Anyway, we have to bring in other consultants for that to occupy each breakout room. But then we also provide requestable toolkits. And so if you, for example, don't have time to come into the studio for an oral presentation workshop, you can request the oral presentation toolkit. And so you're able to get the materials that we use so you could introduce that into your own classroom.
Also, I just want to speak towards the STEM Center. Most of our activities are in person. However, if there's a student who really wants extra help, and they email me, I do my best to try to set something up online for them.
I got a question for Ashley for the Student Success Center. So when you actually recruit a student as a tutor for our core courses, is it for a specific course or are you just assigning them? Well, are you assigning them to a specific course or a couple of courses?
So it honestly just depends. It depends on subject need. But we put the application out for anyone to apply. And so we do also get recommendation letters, but once we interview and we talk with the students and they're hired, we ask them what they're comfortable. We go through their grades, ask them what they're comfortable tutoring, and it could be a wide variety. So like I remember one semester, my business tutor was the best math tutor that I've ever had, honestly. And so it depends on what they're comfortable with. Because I don't want an uncomfortable tutor. You can tell that in a session.
Yeah, I'm asking because, well, we have students that can ace, a course, but they could be not really excellent in the other ones. So we just want to make sure that when we refer.
Yes, we
tutoring.
do interviews. We ask professors, we ask peers. If we've got a student worker who is like, do you know this person? Because there are differences in personalities. And we'll give a chance. I've had high achieving students that were very awkward and talked about subjects they shouldn't talk about in front of other students who they're tutoring. And so they did not last with me very long. But those are conversations that we have immediately about what is appropriate work place, behavior. We also do a lot of team building because one thing I will say about I call them my kids. They genuinely like each other as a person. And so they are more willing to, you can tell the difference in their way they work because they actually like each other. They respect each other. They don't want to let each other down.
And one last question. Thank you. Are they assessed like on a semester basis or is it like a year long when the tutors come in? How do you assess them or do you ask the learners to assist them or how does that work?
Can you repeat that?
I mean, are there any assessments for the tutors?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we're beginning a new assessment. So that's part of the certification. We have to have assessments of our tutors. And so part of that is what are our expectations, but also what do they expect from us? So that we can provide the best work environment possible.
Yeah, and then if I understand correctly, we can also recommend tutors
Absolutely.
to you and
We actually,
the
the position might still be open. But yes, I always say I trust that people won't give me bad eggs. And if they do, then that's a conversation privately between me and that person.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
My question is for Sarah, excuse me. I just returned here and the fact that they let the license for SPSS go is very bothersome to me. But that's a different
I
thing.
can answer that question. So Yamovi, it looks the same, is free, and the students, my main concern with SPSS was the students. We had students who, for one semester period, they had to pay $100 fee and they didn't have the money. Like our population, they don't have the money. So we still have some random departments that some students come to us with my mentor wanted SPSS. I'm like, give me whatever your mentor gave you. We can totally translate it. Yamovi specifically looks exactly like SPSS. It was developed for people who use SPSS, and Yamovi is totally free. You can download it. All your students can download it for free. This is I'm not trying to. It's not a pitch. This is a reality. This is for the student. The students eating the cost of MATLAB, SPSS, you name it, was a really, really big problem. And having resources who are open source and equally good. So Jamovi specifically looks very similar to SPSS, works great. You can import the data very easily. All the students very intuitively get it. So I strongly recommend that.
Can you spell that program? I've never heard.
Yes, Jamov is in Victor, Jamovi. And it looks like SPSS. You download it, and it's free. You import the data. It is really easy to use, and it has all the key things. And we really noticed that the students stressed about paying for licenses for a semester was way too high. And with this software, we can train everyone on a free open source software. Everyone gets their data analyzed, and we run workshops for the faculty, for the student. We have one-on-one consultations. How to install Jamovi can be a 30-minute consultation. We can do them online or in person or however you want. You just share a screen. We come to our, to Data Initiative for consultation. We get you installed, hooked up, your data set in, clean, and running, no problem.
So none of that was my question.
Sorry.
My question is,
It's you on campus for
yes, I
years.
understand that. But my question is, faculty that teach stats are
Yes.
committed to the program that they learn.
Yes.
What do you do to ease them from the culture of SPSS to R or to Jamovi? I personally teach using Excel because it's free to everybody and it can do anything I want the students to do. But how do you do that culturally?
Very slowly. So we've had this, my department, we had these conversations for the last 10 years. This is hard. I totally hear you. I've taught in Excel forever. I know all the analysis that said tool packs. I can tell you just by heart because that was my lab, because I wanted to do something else. And everyone else was like, no, Excel. I'm like, I cannot do multiple regression in Excel, whatever. So I think it's a department conversation. We had department level conversations because the different sections of our stats classes had to be the same. And that was very hard conversations with a lot of frustration. And that initiative, one of the initial reasons to create it was precisely to help train people from SPSS into other tools. That was the initial pitch. We've evolved. We're not stuck. We're just not just the group that does something other than SPSS. We've evolved into supporting research and all this sort of stuff. But that was our initial purpose. And I think it is very hard to convince people who've been using one software for 20 years to change their assignments. And I think that is a chair conversation. Talk to your chair. But then if you decide to get onto any other software, we can definitely help you create assignments for you. We can run a whole semester. We can run different classes. We can create them in Excel, in Jamovi, in JASP, in R, in you name it. As long as it's open source, we can do it. That's, yeah.
David, what I would say is money is a good way of making that argument, right? So if I don't remember how much SPSS costs the university. $50,000 a year? Yeah. So we don't have that. And it costs students a bunch of $100. And so, yeah, I mean, but yeah, I grew up before there was SPSS, but I used SPS for a long time, and I'm under a department, and so I was party to those conversations, and I was like, this is what I know how to do. But then I did see Jamovi, and I was like, it looked identical. It does all the same stuff, and it's free. So what's the problem? I mean, so it's. But I think you want to write a grant to pay $50,000 for the university to get SPSS. Otherwise, here we are. That's what I would say.
But Qualtrics Qualtrics is also expensive and it's really good, and we get the license and we pay for, like, the university paid for Qualtrics. So that was good.
Lisa, you have an online question.
I do. Okay. Fantastic.
Will there be a workshop on vibe coding this semester?
That is disallowed. Email me, we'll talk.
Yeah.
We'll put a direct link to Lisa's email. If you have kind of nuanced questions related to AI, best to send Lisa an email.
Yes.
And she'll either answer your question or help you understand the context surrounding
Right.
potential responses to
Right.
that question. We are in communication, and Lisa's in communication with IT, University Council, Student Conduct, and I'm probably missing a few others.
AI Strategy Council.
AI Strategy Council, but Lisa is networked in with all of the key team members related to AI. But as Lisa will agree, it's an extensive network to ensure that we have great resources, which Lisa does, but that we are also plugged in with the legal implications and with the IT security implications, which is Jeremy's area from yesterday, as well. But Lisa is a wonderful resource. She is really at the forefront of AI nationally and even internationally, and can support you in answering the question. We can't always guarantee it's going to be a yes or no.
Right. And with vibe coding, I mean, that's going to depend on what the application is. It's not strictly disallowed, but we've got to be careful that it falls within the AI use in the workplace guidelines.
Hi, so my question is related to incorporating videos or documentaries into teaching. Say, I want my students to watch a documentary on the Challenger tragedy, but that documentary is only available on Netflix. Or I want my students to watch Hamilton, and that is only available on Disney Plus. So in that case, how do I get access to those resources, or how do I make sure that my students don't have to pay for a streaming service to watch just one particular documentary or show?
Yeah, the library is the answer, right? You got to talk to your librarian. Each department has a library liaison, so you have to find out who your liaison is, contact that person, and they'll walk you through all of those implications and help you figure out how to get access.
And the library session, not to interrupt, but we will have an hour plus with EKU libraries tomorrow. I've seen their agenda. They will connect you with your liaison. And these are great questions that they're eager to support you on. They can help you with integration, use resources into your courses. They follow a co-design philosophy. And if there are various considerations regarding copyright or streaming implications, they can support you from the outset. They are truly wonderful.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Else?
Thank you. We appreciate you all being here. If you have any questions, please feel free to speak to everybody. Email us individually. Like, I love getting emails and answering questions or meeting, just as Elise talked about. Otherwise, we'll be there tomorrow. Right? And tomorrow we will be there at the
Resource
fair
Yeah.
over in Johnson. So handing out some resources, and we can have conversations.
Thanks.